Welcome back. I'm George, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about some of the items I picked up at the Timonium Model Railroad Show on the Model Railroad Show. So yeah, hey, what's up? Welcome back. If you watched the last video, I did a full walk around of the Timonium show, which was like the Timonium, I guess they consider that the spring or the summer show. Not their busiest show, but I gotta tell you, if you're an N scaler, good show. A lot of stuff. A lot of fluctuation in price. If you watch that video, you'll see that. And today I just wanted to do a quick video, talk about some of the items I have in front of me here that that I picked up at the show. Let's get into it. The rolling stock. Rolling stock prices were really all over the place. I went to a table, the first table, 10% below whatever list was, which was, fine. But I mean, for a railroad show, especially for a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily new, I could take or leave. And then he had a bunch of things that he called out of production. And those prices were all over the place, which was ironic because he had just explained to me while I was asking about prices that N-Scale really has no collectability, which I won't argue. I mean, it's mass produced, right? So hunted around, and this is why you hunt around at train shows. Hunted around, finally found a table with some good rolling stock. That was the cars were 3 for $25, so I got 6 cars for $50, and some of these are indeed never out of the package, which is pretty cool. So I'll show you those now. The first one is an N-scale car that everybody is familiar with. This is the State of Maine Products, Bangor and Aroostook Railroad. It's just a iconic N-scale car that I do not own. I've seen it at shows. I've never purchased it, and I was there, and it struck me. It does. It's an older car. It's from 2000, so it's got the big old pizza cutter wheels on it, which for me is fine because I run Pico Code 55. But obviously it's a microtrains car with good microtrains couplers, and the wheels are an easy swap. Next one I got here was an Atlantic Coastline car. This is another one I don't think has ever seen a railroad. I mean, brand new. This is from 1997. It's a wood sheath, double sheath actually, box car, and I love to keep some of these on here. Everything is in nice working order. Again, pizza cutter wheels, brake wheels in place, in the jewel with the covering. A lot of times if you see cars at railroad shows that don't have this covering over them, and this could have been out on a railroad, but on somebody's railroad, but it is pretty immaculate. But if you don't see this piece gets thrown away a lot. They can, that's usually a key to me that it's not new. Next one is a car you don't see a lot. This was in production in 1999, a microtrains car. And this is a Pennsylvania Railroad automobile car. So an old auto rack. For those of you who don't know, before we had these modern auto racks, cars were shipped in box cars that were basically built to ship cars. And this is cool. It's got the rounded top. Very neat. Very neat. Again, excellent condition. Same deal. Pizza cutter wheels. So older car. Couplers are good. All the brakes, brake wheels are intact. Nothing's broken off. The doors are there. They work well. So again, for a $9 average, I will take it. Next one is a car you saw me eyeing up in the video if you watched it, which is this Reading car. This was a 1997 production, Reading 17059. Microtrains did a re-release of a weathered version of this car. I do not know if the road number is the same. The pre-weathered one from Microtrains is really a cool car. But I love this Reading paint scheme. I love how these green and yellow cars weather. So it's just, they look very good on the railroad. And the Reading was adjacent to where I'm modeling at. So the odds of you seeing a Reading car or a couple of Reading cars would be very, very good. This one is old, and it kind of shows a little bit. I mean, definitely this isn't a new car, but it's actually an older piece of Microtrains. It's from 1994. This is Rutland number 103. You can tell by just how the printing is. The printing on these older cars just is like a little bit blurry. It's not as sharp, and obviously big old pizza cutter wheels. But again, everything is where it should be. Brake wheels are intact. And I always say that on these cars when I look, because those brake wheels are the first things to go. This car, the doors are a little loose on the loose side, so, but very good. And it's another iconic kind of microtrains car you see in a lot of layouts. The last one is actually the oldest car I picked up, and this one Stacy actually noticed. This is a cushioned box car from PRR. I mean, again, looks good. This is from, this was produced December of '88. Definitely a much older car. And you see this stuff. Again, the collectability event scale is, you know, kind of relative. But it does have that like early style, what I would call microtrains labeling on it or painting on it, where it is just not as crisp sharp as the technology it lends us to today. But again, very cool car. I prefer the 40-foot box cars for my operations, but there's always a place for variety and for stuff like that. So those are the 6 pieces of rolling stock that I picked up at the train show. Again, I paid $50 for 6 box cars, basically, which is awesome. All right, so next, RS laser kits. I picked up, I have a, in my Milford section, I have a lumber dealer, Milford Lumber and Coal. So I bought some, they had some laser cut stacks of lumber. Again, is this something I could scratch build? Probably. These look really good. They're going to go together nice. And they came in 8, 16s, and 12 all length 2x4s. That one of these that would be, you know, stocked. They could be detailed with some string, tie some string around there, make it look like they've been metal banded. I don't know if I'll do that or not, but yeah, they look really, really good. And I bought 3 of them. RS laser kits, if you're an N scaler, is selling out its plans and everything to a new guy, Scott, who's also from Illinois. RS Laser Kits is based in Illinois. And Scott is Phoenix Model Building, so he was at this show. He is hustling, getting his thing going, and he is taking over the plans. I'm going to do the cutting for all of the RS Laser Kits. So I think if you're looking for something, get online and buy it. Otherwise, you might just, there might be a little production lag from the time that Scott gets these plans and starts cutting and builds production back up again. All right. The other thing I picked up was a jib crane. I was going to 3D print a jib crane, and then I walked by this jib crane. This might be kind of tough to see, and it just looked good. It is it's a pretty good resin print of a jib crane, and jib cranes are, you know, they were very popular, especially near loading docks or near team tracks on the railroad. And this one is going to go on the freight house, right on that loading dock there. So this was $9.25. The lumber kits were $5.50 for the shortest, $7 for the 12, and I think $7 for the 16 is what those, sorry, the RS laser kits were. But this was $9.95, so, you know, not bad. By the time I put the time into researching a design and doing everything and getting this printed out, the detail here is really good. So I was pleased, and $10 really wasn't terrible. I also bought off of Canoe Modeling. I bought them some trees, and I have one of these trees here, and these are just some simple wire trees. I've made some trees in the past. I'll probably make some trees in the future. But the cool thing about, you know, picking up trees when you're out and about is you get a very, you know, you get a good variety. And these are conifers, some pine trees. They're nice and airy. It's a variety pack. So I've got everything from like 1 inch to, I think, 2.5 inches in this variety pack. Again, they look good. They're not too full. Like, they don't look like those straight up triangles, which I have a few on the railroad that I may actually replace those with. And then Hunterline weathering mix. I've been wanting to try Hunterline weathering mix for a while. Haven't seen it at a show. Haven't seen it at a hobby store. My local hobby store has been carrying this rail center streaking, and I haven't fallen in love with that stuff yet. So I wanted to try the Hunter line. I bought a dark brown and a tie brown. The cool thing about Hunter line is they do put a little sample stained right on the bottle so that you have an idea over what you're getting. And dark and tie are a little bit close, but tie is a little darker. These were, I want to say, 12 bucks. A little pricey for a stain, especially when I make India ink stain at home. I've also got some Brillo water that we can do a video on that I age wood with. So a couple of different ways, but the nice thing about mixing stuff up is everything won't necessarily look uniform on the railroad. I also picked up some strips and ridge caps for adhesive roofing, just on sale. It was 5 bucks. I sometimes, again, do this stuff myself with masking tape, but this is, yeah, just a little bit different. And honestly, these ridge caps are on here, and they are all basically kind of pre-measured. They got a little line in them where to fold them. So even if I don't use the actual strips and I just use the ridge caps, that is kind of a cool thing. The other thing you can do with these strips, you can use them as molding or trim. So they were, again, 5 bucks. Not bad. They were on sale. I think they're usually like $8. As far as modeling, that was everything I got. But I'm always usually looking for a few other things or just seeing what's interesting. Picked this up for 2 bucks at the railroad show. And this is the timelines, passenger train schedules, accommodations, and fares, basically for all the way from New York to Chicago. If you are modeling a railroad, and I looked these up online, but I've never actually bought one. We can go over kind of like what this is and how to read it in another video, but this gives you the stations. It gives you the times, obviously, because it's a timetable. It gives you the names of the trains. If some of these trains had names for marketing reasons, like Table 3 here, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, and Baltimore to Chicago. You got the Manhattan Limited, you got the Golden Triangle, the General, the Trailblazer, the Red Arrow, in big old letters, if you're a PRR fan, the Broadway Limited, the Pennsylvania Limited, and the Fort Pitt, which ran from Pittsburgh to Chicago through Fort Wayne. All right, so very, very cool. And then there's a few Boston to New York things here, but they give you all of the times and the schedules. And not only do they do that, they tell you which cars might have been coach only. They tell you which trains, for example, we can look at the Broadway Limited, had a lounge car from New York to Chicago, 5 double bedrooms, all right, and a train telephone. It had sleeping cars from New York to Chicago, 10 roomettes, 6 double bedrooms, 5 cars. So it gives you the exact makeup. Not that you're probably going to have 5 sleeping cars on a model railroad, but it lets you know that, hey, you could put one on there. Observation cars from New York to Chicago, 2 master bedrooms, a 1 double bedroom, and a dining car from New York to Chicago. So there are probably multiple dining cars, actually, but giving you an idea of what types of cars would be in that consist, as opposed to just having a passenger train with maybe, a bunch of coaches. And they do not give you the number of baggage cars or what have you that would be attached to that, which also would have been multiple baggage cars and probably an RPO car and what have you. But this is from April 26th, 1959. So a little bit after, really, when I'm modeling. I'm like try to stick to the early 50s. Tough for me to give an exact time, but I don't like to go too much later than the early 50s for 95% of what's on the railroad. Another book we have here is the Pennsylvania Railroad Brake and Train Air Signal Instructions. This is from Philadelphia, dated August 14th, 1944. So this book would have been printed about a month after my father was born. And very cool. This book was somebody's book that they used on the railroad. There are some personal notes on here. that I'm gonna have to really try and figure out, some of this handwriting. Something car, February 21st, 1949. That was actually my grandfather's birthday. So, and there's all kinds of stuff in here about braking and horns, and there is stuff crossed out and corrections written. Something I will definitely kind of go through and take a look at and read. Dated in here September 11th, 19. I gotta tell you, it looks like maybe 1950, Waverly Hill. And then it says August 28th, 52 to Amboy. So it was obviously used on the Northeast Corridor if they were going through Amboy. Kind of cool. And you can see them on eBay. A lot of this stuff's on eBay, but it's nice to go to a train show, kind of support these guys selling. And I don't know who I'm supporting on eBay. But $5. So definitely worth it. The other book I picked up, and this was all three of these are from the same guy, is the Pennsylvania Railroad Rules, October 1st, 1889. And I want to be a little bit more careful with this. I mean, this is a book, obviously, from 1889, and it smells like it was on a train. It's got that, like, kind of, I was handling tools and grease, and my hands were dirty, and this book was, being handled. So very cool. Not a lot of writing in here. But this also, and this one of the things this book does give you is it gives you the jobs of all the people on the railroad, which I thought was just cool. Like, again, I don't want to open this up too much, but page 48, it has baggage agents, and baggage agents are to report and to receive their instructions from superintendents, and they must obey the orders of station masters. So this really kind of goes into what each job did on the railroad. This is listed when you look at it under auction as a rare book. I saw a few on eBay. I saw two actually on eBay when I did my search, and they were one had sold recently for $47, and everything else I saw was in that $45 to $60 range. Again, here to show I paid $5 for it, so a great value. Had I seen two there, or had I known what it was worth, I probably would have bought more. And definitely, if I see it again, I'll buy another one. So very, very cool. And that's what I got. So let me know if you were Timonium altogether. Spent $105 at the show, which really isn't terrible for some odds and ends and some things. Didn't buy anything big. And like I said, let me know if you were at the show. Let me know if you saw me walking around with the camera. And let me know what you picked up, because there was a lot of great stuff there. There was really a lot of great stuff that I still have like more videos to talk about. So hit me a like button, ring the bell, give me a subscribe, and thank you for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. Later.